In the dark, criminal underworld, gangs rule with an iron fist, committing unspeakable acts of violence day after day. It should come as no surprise that new recruits seeking acceptance must face the same brutality as their victims. This provides gangs with the unwavering loyalty of their new members, and it's vital for preventing defection, and it forges a strong commitment to their cause. If you're like us, and in your sick mind you are somehow fascinated by the darkest practices of savage gangs, then this video is for you. But be warned, as what we are about to explore is not for the weak minds. Let the journey through some of the most gruesome gang initiations begin. In the wild west of Mexico, the Knights Templar cartel engages in unspeakable horrors. As part of their initiation process, new members are reportedly forced to consume the hearts of innocent children, an unimaginable atrocity that solidifies their loyalty through fear and horror. There are rumors that they like to kidnap children from schools and put them into refrigerated trucks, probably in order to harvest their organs. This alone is heinous enough on its own, but forcing new members to eat the children's hearts, that is true evil on steroids. Meanwhile, across the United States, we have the notorious Crips gang. Notorious for their extreme brutality, the gang imposes a harsh test on those who aspire to become members. The initiation ceremony unfolds with a savage beating administered by multiple gang members, leaving the recruit battered and often struggling to remain standing. Even his closest friends turn their backs, leaving him bloodied and bruised. Okay, let's take a quick break from brutal beatings for a minute and explore exploitation within gangs. The exploitation of sexuality within gangs casts a dark shadow over countless lives. According to a research paper led by the Medical College of Wisconsin, young women become entangled in a web of servitude, performing sex jobs to maintain their standing within the gang, trapped in a world where initiation rituals involve forced acts. These girls are thrown into adulthood as young as 13 or 14, vulnerable to unspeakable abuse and exploitation. Moving on, next on our list is the MS-13 gang. Originating in Los Angeles, California during the 1980s, MS-13, also known as Mara Salvatrucha, is a criminal gang that initially consisted predominantly of Salvadoran immigrants. However, its influence has since spread beyond the United States, reaching various parts of Central America. They originally formed in response to the Civil War in their home country. These immigrants joined forces to establish a sense of unity, protection, and mutual support, protecting themselves from being targeted by other gangs. Although MS-13 began as a collective of young men seeking safety within the harsh neighborhoods of Los Angeles, it gradually evolved into a more structured and sinister organization involved in illicit activities such as drug trafficking, robberies, and homicides. In El Salvador, the initiation into the gang requires passing a chilling final exam. You have to commit a murder. This terrible action proves that you are tough and experienced, making you an important and respected part of the ruthless organization. Not far from the MS-13, we have the Bloods, fierce rivals of the Crips. They too have made their own morbid path. Prospective members face a daunting initiation task known as a buck 50. This horrifying ritual involves inflicting a deep, disfiguring cut across a victim's face, requiring a minimum of 150 stitches. The resulting scar serves as a constant reminder of their loyalty to the gang. Across the ocean, in the twisted web of the Japanese criminal underworld, the Yakuza stand as an emblem of order and discipline. Swearing ultimate allegiance to the clan, members must sever ties with their families, sacrificing everything for the gang. But the initiation rituals don't end there. Should a member betray the code or wrong the clan, he must pay with flesh. Therefore, their most infamous ritual is Yabitsumi, which consists of cutting off a part of someone's finger. The purpose of Yabitsumi is both punishment and redemption. Anytime a Yakuza member commits an offense within the organization, they have to cut off the tip of their little finger. One offense equals one joint, and everyone always starts with the little finger on the left hand. If that little finger eventually gets completely cut off due to the member committing several offenses, then they move on to the little finger on the right hand. You'd think losing the tip of your pinky is enough to scare you into not stop making any more trouble. But hey, some people never learn. Ever heard of golden or brown showers? In the world of motorcycle gangs, their reputation echoes far and wide. While many of these groups embody a harmless spirit with larger-than-life characters, the world of outlaw motorcycle gangs also hides a much darker side. I'm sure that everyone who hasn't lived under a rock or wasn't born yesterday has heard the notorious name Hells Angels, an American motorcycle gang infamous for their frequent clashes with the law. Their crimes have often flashed on the front pages of newspapers, capturing public attention. However, for a long time, their initiation process remained a mystery until in the 60s, Hunter S. Thompson took it upon himself to uncover the truth, or what was initially thought to be the truth. Warning, what's coming next is not for weaker minds. To become a member of Hells Angels, the path appears to be deceptively simple. Thompson was shown an exaggerated form of prospect initiation just to fool him into believing what he was seeing was true. New aspiring recruits have to put on so-called uniform, jeans and Hells Angels vests, and take a seat in a chair surrounded by established members. But what comes next is far from the ordinary. Instead of a welcoming ceremony, new recruits are showered with kicks and punches from the gang members, and for some twisted reason, they're then drenched in urine and feces, and as if the humiliation wasn't enough, they are prohibited from washing or changing their clothes for an entire day. Yuck! That's what I call a visceral reminder of their initiation into this tough brotherhood. Now let's travel back to the cradle of humanity. Africa. The Roto Gang is a South African gang known for breaking into the homes of Randburg's rich residents and robbing them, kinda like little African Robin Hoods. What sets them apart from many other South African gangs is their initiation process. It's unique, but somehow manages to be even worse than the typical initiation acts of violence. If you wish to join this gang, you don't have to endure any beating, have bodily fluids poured over you, or even do a test run of the gang's typical activities. Instead of any of that, you have to watch established gang members not only violently murder their rivals, but also horrifically mutilate and dismember their bodies. They often remove vital organs and dump them on the street. Supposedly, recruits are given a passive role to prove if they have the stomach for the gang activities. It's a way to tell if they can witness crimes without taking action, as sometimes it's even harder to stand by and do nothing. Now, how does double murder sound for an initiation ritual? Before the 1960s, America was divided by segregation, where white people and non-white, mainly black people, had separate places and even institutions. However, the civil rights movement made segregation illegal, which meant everything, including prisons, became integrated. Many white inmates didn't like the idea of being in the same prison as black inmates, so they formed racially exclusive gangs like the Aryan Brotherhood, a white supremacist prison gang established in 1964 at San Quentin Prison. This gang's involved in various crimes, such as drug smuggling, male prostitution, and even hiring people to commit murders. Even though they make up a small portion of the prison population, it's believed that they are responsible for up to 30% of the murders that happen in prisons. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot. Their initiation process is likely connected to this violence. If you ever happen to be in prison and would like to join them, you have to prove yourself by killing not one, but two people. And it's not just limited to other inmates, you're even encouraged to target prison guards. These disturbing stories of gang initiations reveal the dark truth faced by those who seek acceptance by these criminal organizations. The horrifying rituals they endure become a permanent part of their lives, filled with violence, darkness, and a distorted sense of loyalty.